when thou shalt send me, Lord, now, yeah, I surrender, now, I get down on my knees, cry, Lord, I surrender all to you right now. Ain't no other way out. That's all I've got to say. Oh, I surrender all. Oh, now all my life gave it what I got, and this time I'm giving it my last shot. No more trusting in me, I'll trust in you. I'll trust in you. Oh, to you, I surrender all. Get down on my knees every day. Oh, and I try to give it all.
Welcome, everybody, to Mud Flood Was Armageddon. The Mud Flood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. I hate to tell you. Well, I guess I don't hate to tell you. I told you so. I had no choice. I think you know what I'm talking about. There was a map made as a thumbnail. I might have it pulled up for a video that I didn't see anybody else talking about really in the mainstream or the truther movement that made their own thumbnail and put it right here and said it's Jesus coming in the clouds, El Nino, which means the sun, which normally feeds these valleys that feed the world. And it wasn't only here, it turned out to be, here. Now it's going to be moving into here, and seems that the Mississippi is in danger now too. But not you. You were prepared. You were ready. And thank you all. Thank you so much. In the, those Strong's Concordance, the concordance, they've numbered the words, paramuthomai, to encourage, to comfort. Its usage, I encourage, comfort, console. Mary was consoled. The whole house was consoled. Encouraged, to encourage the faint-hearted are you. Working my way backwards, the word right next to it, 3889, paramuthia, only used one time with exaltation and consultation from 1 Corinthians 14, verse 3. On the other hand, the one who prophesies speaks to people for their upbuilding and encouragement and consolation, to people who have eyes to ear. Eyes to ear? With their eyes to ears, they've been opened up that pineal gland that lays in between them both, dead center. And what is prophecy? It's the testimony of Jesus Christ. And that's what I came to, more than encouraged by a bright light that has forever left no doubt of who I put number one on my who to fear list. Yeah, everyone saw me talking tie in, and in the videos later that I have pulled up, I hope we'll see that it goes like, I don't know why I'm talking about this video. Did the CIA create the hippies?
Located at 8118 Sunset Boulevard, about 1.5 miles from the Houdini Estate in Laurel Canyon. Only about 4.
Okay, wow. Is he talking about here? Exactly where I had the circle? Laurel Canyon? And did I talk and then put about, oh my goodness, this is a judgment on starting with Hollywood? Well, I get it. Here, where's the real Hollywood? I guess it's right here. This is Beverly Hills. Well, we'll see where it is. I got these maps pulled up and stuff that it hit exactly where the target said, I'm drawing thumbnails. I used to be a volleyball coach, a basketball coach, and then I became a warehouse administrator and was good at it, I guess. And then retired when I was 54, and the Lord tell me, do this. I'm not sure, Lord, if you got the right guy. And then, he kind of convinced me that he wasn't asking, he was telling. Where's that other little canyon right here, about a mile away from the Laurel Canyon? There's that Lookout Mountain. That's where the CIA was stationed. Wonderland Avenue's right there. What else happened in that area? Oh, the Tate LaBianca murders. Kind of a smaller suburb of Laurel Canyon is this other small canyon that starts with a B. For some reason, the Lord is not letting me think of it right now. Benedict Canyon, that's not it. That's just another, was that it? Yeah, okay. Right there? Beverly Glen? So it's right by Laurel Canyon. I mean, it's doggone. That thing about the Houdini over here and Charlie Manson and a lot of things weird with the CIA and me saying what I said. And yet people put in the comments that night, I'm an idiot. Not one thing about what he said will come true. Have you been paying attention? They're drowning. So we'll see. I pinned this comment from Yahoo Boss Ballas 4414. Check back in a month or two and see how much of this turned out to be true. Absolutely zero. Accusing me of being a false prophet. I would not want to be in his shoes. Not even a little bit.
Strongest area of low pressure we've seen since January of 2010. It brought hurricane force winds for us along our coastline, and it brought in over an inch of rain within a matter of 24 hours down into the Santa Clara Valley, actually past 2 inches near Los Gatos. That was a heavy storm that we experienced, and we're still feeling the impacts today. Localized flooding, that's a concern for us on this morning. And to add to that, we're also seeing downed trees and power outages widespread throughout the Bay Area.
A little more than 235,000 PG&E customers are without electricity in the Bay Area right now, the most in the North Bay. Nearly 73,000 in the dark. That's closely followed by the South Bay, where more than 72,000 are still in the dark. This is the utilities outage map, updated every 15 minutes. So we're watching it closely so you can plan your week and your morning. John?
Hey, Reed, good morning. Yeah, this is definitely going to be some of the more impressive damage we are seeing not too far from Golden Gate Heights Park and west of Twin Peaks. Take a look at what we can see here. We know that there are downed trees throughout, wind damage all around San Francisco, but here you can see part of the roof coming off what we're told is a sunroom in this home, landing on a tree or helping to split this tree with one of the branches coming down. Now, KPIX was able to talk to the homeowner, who tells us that no one who was inside at the time was injured. We know that firefighters came out here around Sunday afternoon, just part of a busy day for them. As of Sunday night.
All right, now that's not really the video that I was looking for. I was looking for the one where they closed.
Our message to Angelenos is vital now more than ever.
So this is
Stay
live.
safe and off the roads. Only leave your house if it is absolutely necessary.
That was the mayor of Los Angeles issuing a local state of emergency. That was in a press conference this morning, just allowing more resources to be unlocked
Beverly
as this
Crest.
dangerous flooding continues
That's
to
the
unfold
top of
in Southern California.
And we want to go there now
That
for an update on
Beverly
the
Hills.
situation. Los Angeles County Emergency Management Director Emily Montanez joins us now.
Right
Emily,
by
thank you for being
Hollywood
with
Hills.
us. It's been such a dire situation as this powerful atmospheric river has just unleashed its fury.
Let me just see if I can't slide back and will the Lord provide that one clip about the first place that had a landslide was Laurel Canyon. And it's got washed away. Maybe it'll turn up. But people thinking this is a joke, this is only starting. This is Monday. The biggest storm hits tomorrow. Get ready.
Last week, which left the area even more vulnerable to this powerful storm. Have there been any issues? I know this has to be especially challenging with some of the calls as you're responding to an event like this, because you get mud over the roads, rocks over the roads, and it becomes challenging to move around. How has that aspect of this been?
Absolutely. There are downed trees, and there are a lot of trees in LA. Some of the schools were closed. There's probably a good number of accidents that have happened as well. We don't have precise numbers, but those types of things were expected. So fortunately, we had resources pre-deployed, lined up, and a lot of field crews from a variety of public works, fire personnel.
Yeah, don't worry, it's going to be
on
okay.
the scene as quickly as possible.
And Emily, you had mentioned that it seems like folks have been kind of heeding the warnings, those alerts and orders put in place. But for folks that are needing shelter, is there somewhere that they can go to shelter from the storm?
There are. So there's expanded sheltering efforts underway. There are county parks that have extended hours, and there's a whole system in place to make sure that the unhoused populations in particular and other vulnerable populations have access to those.
Here's the Beverly Glen. Studio City is right there where, you know, that I circled. Laurel Canyon closed indefinitely.
And we've learned Laurel Canyon Boulevard is closed indefinitely after a mudslide shut down the busy artery.
Well, CBS 2's Craig Herrera is live on the scene there, but the news no one wanted to hear. Craig.
Yeah, we got that word just a little over an hour ago saying it's going to be closed indefinitely until they can really get a good look at this. Right behind me, you can see there's a big roadblock they're bringing up here, and they're going to put that up just as soon as we're done with this live shot. But up above, Sky 2 is up over the scene, and you can see where the home is, and of course where the slide came down. And so this has been a very, very tricky situation and very difficult. As there's a large drop right where the slide is.
There were at least
Part of
2
the deck
houses
fell
that
off as
got
well, and the
destroyed
home,
last
the
night.
foundation
Had
is
their
very unstable up there, as Sky 2's been up over the scene. But this, we actually got our own very unique perspective as well. We had Drone Force 2 up over the area. This is our drone video of the slide where the foundation of these 2 homes washed away. You can see a large part of the deck is gone. A concrete slab is dangling. And the slide
And
looks
this
like
was
a
the
dirt road
start
to
of the
drop
storm.
about 100 feet. And until structural engineers can get in there and be certain the hillside is safe, Laurel Canyon will remain closed.
I'll guarantee you right now, that hillside is not safe.
Coldwater Canyon was busier than normal, and parts of it flooded.
Coldwater is a disaster every day.
More so because of the weather.
Today, actually, it seems terrible with the rain.
And the closure on Laurel Canyon because of the slide. Cars had to keep moving along a backed up Mulholland Drive. Charles Fenning made some changes on his commute.
Pretty much thinking to leave the office as early as possible and just head home.
Joel Steinberg just avoided a crash.
Well, there was a giant rock in the middle of the road.
How big?
So, probably like...
Their woes are only starting.
Yeah, it's huge.
And we found a rock about 12 inches high near the white line on Mulholland Drive.
Pretty slow. Pretty slow.
And everybody's heard of Mulholland Drive. Wonder what those steps were for.
About 2.
You see those?
Staying safe.
And that's what cars.
I wonder what these steps led to. This whole area is a mystery. What are they going to be trying to hide? What is going to be super dangerous? Who are they going to let die?
Did as they passed about 24 smaller rocks that rolled down a hillside.
You can expect backups. More slow traffic.
And more gridlock on canyon roads getting between Hollywood and the west side and the valley. All right, and what you can see live right now is part of that slide right along the canyon.
The propaganda's over, everyone. So move the roadblock in. Nobody else is allowed back down there. Where'd this big rock come from? I'll guarantee it's a body part. Body part, body part. Hey, there's the body part. Body part. I always only read. How many times have you heard me read John 4:24? I was reminded last night I should give more context when I have the time. I'm making the time right now. John 4 verses 21 through 26. Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews, but the hour is coming and is now here when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth." The woman said to him, "I know that Messiah, the only anointed, is coming, he who is called Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all things." Jesus said to her, "I who speak to you am he." And we had best believe that he was telling them the truth, because how does the Father seek? We only have to go 2 chapters over, slide down near the bottom. And Jesus said, This is why I told you, no one can come to me unless it is granted him by the Father. No one will be comforted by my words unless it has been granted them that their ears and their eyes are open. Jesus said, heaven is my throne, the earth is my footstool. What kind of house will you build for me, says the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? I've kind of lost my spot. They're like chaff.
It's giving you.
Any comment on the UFO in the Old Testament? This is the title of his video, UFO in the Old Testament. There's a kind of a hint to give you prepare you for this.
They're describing in the Old Testament. You might have a different view of things than what redactionists and priests have told you about it. And you should definitely keep in mind that for hundreds of years, the Church of Rome were the only ones allowed to read any of this. If you were caught with a Bible, that was heresy, punishable by, And for some.
And I'm telling you that everyone that takes this a different direction and thinks they're working for God is only, they're just asking for trouble. People needed protection, like they break out.
Like the question, can God make something so heavy he's unable to lift? It's one of them. He creates everything. So what would he create that he needs to be protected from?
See? You see? If you don't want to listen to me, listen to Randy. Right. Yeah, he is the rock. Yeah, he is the rock. He can. So a couple more seconds here.
That cannot be within the presence of God in any way, shape, or form. If you eat yeast at all and go before the presence of God, that's one of the worst sins you could commit. This is
why doesn't Paco talk about yeast more? Well, because there's two verses that make it seem like yeast isn't always forbidden in the presence of God. That's why. And when that veil's lifted, we'll talk about it. In the meantime, I'm not going to shoot my mouth off like somebody that knows not scripture.
This is why they still have traditions of unleavened bread. So that's all I'm going to say about it for now. But what image does that conjure up in your mind? I'll just leave you to that one. We're going to jump forward to the book of Job, where when God is having a conversation with
Well, where's that one part? To leave this message for, and they did. And now, veils are being lifted. Why do you stand outside? So that you're going to stand. She stopped bearing. So when it's over for you, at the end, you're going to stand there and be judged.
And now we have, total opposite. Instead of embalming, you can go cream style cremation.
Right.
Which it's certainly dust to dust.
This is an important part. Right. It's not something that, I want to argue about or anything else. It's simply not something I recommend. I don't see any of the patriarchs saying, burn my body, go your way till the end. Okay, so I guess I wanted to look at the end and then we'll move on.
Yeah, when it comes to motives, if someone thinks I'm going to be cremated so the Lord can't find me, that's
right.
not
that made me laugh twice.
As far as being cremated, because it's it's efficient for being cost.
Right. Everybody's so poor right now. Economically, it's the viable option.
So it's intense motives.
Let's look at the end as talked about in Daniel, because I do want to hit, I know your time's precious, my thanks to you. So, but Habakkuk 2 verse 3, I might have that pulled up later, but I want to just hit it right now. I think I can skip. We'll see what's the end that they're talking about. Weary themselves for nothing. The earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the water covers the sea. You want to finish off this chapter for me, por favor?
Yeah. Woe to him who makes his neighbors drink. You pour out your wrath and make them drunk in order to gaze at their nakedness. You will have your fill of shame instead of glory. Drink yourself and show your uncircumcision.
Yikes.
The cup in the Lord's right hand will come around to you. And
do you know why I said yikes? I mean, drink. You get drunk and then you show somebody you're not circumcised. You'd have to be showing them your privacy.
Utter shame will come upon your glory. The violence done to Lebanon will overwhelm you, as will the destruction of the beasts that terrified them, for the blood of man and violence to the earth, to cities and all who dwell in them. What profit is an idol when its maker has shaped it? A metal image, a teacher of lies. For its maker trusts in his own creation when he makes speechless idols. Woe to him who says to a wooden thing, awake, to a silent stone, arise.
And see, we take the time and we break it down.
The rivers, O Lord, was your anger against the rivers or your indignation against the sea when you rode on your horses, on your chariot of salvation? You stripped the sheath from your bow, calling for many arrows. Selah. You split the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and withered.
Okay, I kind of was looking in the Bible and didn't see that I was supposed to advance it.
Measuring, I thought it had more to do with evaluating, which is a type of a measurement, maybe, but
no, I don't think we figured out the measurement thing. Here's a thing about a little newscast about the weather, because we were just starting to predict all this stuff.
We get our first look at that wet weather arriving within the low pressure system. Now it'll make its way onshore into our overnight early morning hours. We continue to see it shifting up.
You see that thumbnail I made for the...
We began in San Francisco with a live track there with the rain.
It's got a target on Hollywood.
Of the passes on 80 and 50.
No,
it would be hard to keep.
I didn't.
If we see enough spin outs, we could see road closed.
I just clicked in without really checking things out.
If you're going up to the Sierra today or thinking about it today being Saturday, if you're going to go up there and be like,
I think it's going to affect the Orville Dam. There's also a, look at it. There's just, really nothing new. It's nobody else was talking about this, and all of this. It seems like this should be a big deal. They're talking about. We were doing this. Normally get 3 inches of rain. We were doing this Sunday morning, and they were, and so we looked for atmospheric river, and they were showing us things from 4 days ago. It was. Nobody was talking about the actual day when Laurel Canyon, it was getting crushed, and I was deciding, it looks like, what did I say? Judgment on Satan's hometown in a year, and they're about to get 7 inches in 2 hours, and it's no big deal. When last week, 3, and that guy's going to write me in a comment. I'm glad I pinned the comment in case somebody else leaves other comments that he said not one bit will come true. I said El Nino is changed from its pleasant supplying, here's your food, to he's coming in the clouds. It's a judgment. Shoot, how many people died from the El Nino fires in Central America last night? They're saying that alone was 1,000 or something.
Also talking about, of course, that flash flood threat. Flooding are going to be a big concern
Free
for a lot of residents
sandbags.
here. And people have been sandbagging. There have been sandbagging stations available
Free
for folks in
sandbags.
Ventura County as well as in Santa Barbara.
I love
These
those
folks
minivans you
were
can
getting
take
those
the
sandbags
speed out
ready
of
about
like
their
that.
concerns with this
Nobody
storm.
cares if I love the minivans.
Thank you. Also, meantime, you talked about some of the sunshine. Yesterday, our own meteorologist Bob Van Dil.
Now, I'm also predicting there's a storm kicking up. Yeah,
in the
see,
Gulf
this
of-
storm hadn't kicked up, and then a hurricane hit here yesterday. This is time stamped. I don't know the crap that's going to come out of my mouth. Mexico, that's going to scoot up here and turn to what would be your left on the screen where my mouse is, because what this actually is a convergence of water in a continuous fulfillment of my other rarer prophecy type situations of where the Mississippi is. I know. And even like, I don't know how other people felt like Moses, because, I'm not the guy trying to make money off this. I don't take mushrooms that often because I don't want to get close to the light until I'm metamorphosed. I'm on record for that. It's not that it's a lack of faith, but even Moses was very anxious at times. It's not going to be the big help it's always been to the United States since 2021. Couple more seconds.
And the temperatures are
on social media because
not normal.
No. It's all setting up to stall over, this is going to come rushing in. This, which is it already coming up? Yeah, it's just going to, it's coming to the Mississippi. It's a continuation of the rare 2019 prophecy. Man, if it's even
above
half.
average temps stuck in the north, and that.
Oh, Claire.
There, and I'm going to keep this area warm. That's what it's feeling like in places from Minneapolis to Fargo, Sioux Falls, and Eau Claire, all feeling
we already
like
saw
April,
this the other
April
day.
9th through the 11th.
It looks like it was written in August of 2013. It says too many people left to say.
Oh, this was the Sunday show, so we were just sharing some of what the other people were teaching and stuff. I think I brought up Laurel Canyon and the Beatles. They're going to be another big part of the Hamburg underground and stuff. Oh my goodness, could that be Randy? Hallelujah. Hey, brother.
I just got home.
I knew you were busy, so I didn't want to interrupt because I know that, you got to be on the plane tomorrow. What are you going to get up at 4:30 or something?
Probably before then. I'll probably get dropped off at around 5, so Joan can get back home and get to work
by 8.
And I'll be in the air before 7, if everything goes as planned. But yeah, I still have some bags to pack, or a bag.
Somehow, yeah.
Plenty of time to accomplish that.
I was just showing.
Yeah, Sandy.
I was just going over all these videos. Randy, can you believe that where I made that thumbnail, it turns out that, and then I said that, what did I call that? That the atmospheric river El Nino is the son of God that's going to hit Satan's hometown. I was on mushrooms like big time. I barely remember, but
kind of an SHTF.
I don't. Yeah, this is that time, man.
SHTF. Is that what that stands for?
I don't even know.
It's hitting the fan. It's hitting the fan.
All I know is that like last night you told me, the last thing you said was, well, you got a lot of homework to do and stuff. So I did it, and I got through my classes today, and I feel like I'm free to make this video. I had it scheduled, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh. And so what this prophecy should do is make people more go, wow, we should look at that Laurel Canyon, because even, I only showed a couple of minutes about how I was interested in Laurel Canyon as part of the prophecy, but you're my witness. I explained it all to you afterwards, that it's a big deal.
Yeah, if you got off the air,
and even without that, it makes it so much easier.
It's a history
because it was history in review. Thank you for that, because but it saves me time when you can just confirm it. Then I have to go back and look for the videos where I talked about the Admiral Morrison, Jim Morrison connection, and this is all a part of, we are under attack by China and Russia together because we double-crossed them in World War II. So thank you for joining me. We'll continue the show in progress.
But you had time to look at that video I sent you this morning before I took off.
I watched a video. I think I watched a video, and then I sent back an email to you that said, I love it.
Yeah, the Globetards is what I put on there, the Globetards.
But he was pretty darn smart about a lot of other things that helped me be able to say, here's a good way I can show you that it's all eyeball Earth all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, he was, whatever. But
right.
I would say,
but the sky clock thing, that anybody can present that, even if you're a globetard.
Well, which he is. They are.
Which we all were.
Yeah.
And it tore down all its history.
Oop, that was
Many
the one we
buildings.
just finished. So we're just starting this one.
Here in the Laurel Canyon neighborhood of Los Angeles, and you can see behind me a debris flow that was triggered earlier on in the evening. The soil here is just so saturated after this second atmospheric river in just a couple of days. You can see some of the debris that was barreling down the street here. You can see we've got a trash can, looks like we've got pieces of, looks like a screen door there. We've got tree branches, large rocks, all of this coming downhill in a very destructive, quick-flowing fashion. And you can see just how much water has been coming down slope. It's still flowing. The rain is still coming down.
I love this part, Randy. This is a real human that experiences something that we've all experienced. And by that, I mean...
Undermined? Is it undermined anywhere?
No, you'll see it though, because it's what happens to all of us real men that have actually been outside and shit.
And if I stand right in it, you can just see how quickly it's rushing. I don't want to get my boots too wet right now because I've got a long day ahead of me. Well, too late.
How many times does that happen to all of us?
Yeah.
Like, shit, my boots are wet and it's the first thing in the doggone morning.
But we had
totally unavoidable.
Here in California yesterday.
You're lucky
Los
he didn't fall
Angeles,
down.
Measuring
Right.
1 inches of rain, the 10th rainiest day for LA, for downtown LA, and then some neighborhoods in Los Angeles measuring more than 9 inches of rain between Saturday and today. So just tremendous amount of rainfall, a lot of water coming down slope, and Governor Gavin Newsom declaring a state of emergency in 8 different counties across central and southern California. So it's an evolving situation, an ongoing situation.
See, there's that only clip they showed on the national news. You missed that part earlier, Randy. They were showing the national news and they were going like, well, the people are still traveling and they're going to work and some of the schools are still open.
Evacuation
Good.
orders are still in effect in Ventura, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles counties, and the rain continues to fall here. So, a lot of people they're going to be waking up to scenes like this in their
The
neighborhood.
rain is simply just starting, and that's a proper use of that word. It's only beginning.
It may get worse, huh?
Yeah, starting tomorrow.
Stay safe out there. Fox weather correspondent Max Gordon reporting live from Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's too bad for them, but yeah.
And if of all the other weird shit that's going on, that do you see that you didn't have a chance
Neighbor
to see this
pushed
video?
Moses aside and said,
No,
"Who made you
got
ruler and judge over us? Do you want to kill me as you killed the Egyptian yesterday?" At this remark, Moses fled to the land of Midian, where he lived as a foreigner and had 2 sons. After 40 years had passed, an angel appeared to Moses in the flames of a burning bush in the desert near Mount Sinai. When Moses saw it, he marveled at the sight. As he approached to look more closely, the voice of the
This is when I realized that sometimes I wonder if I even need mushrooms. That the wayward queen attack is, and that's what this punk is trying on me. And we both suck. I mean, we're only in the low 800s, but did you see how fast this guy came out the gate at me? It's like
he wants you to take it with your pawn.
he's an idiot. He doesn't. I don't know. He wants me to be in check. But the whole idea of this is that Satan, I think, chose the wayward queen attack. The other takeaway from one of the prophecies is that I guess we found Satan's hometown.
The Lord came to him. "I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob."
I let it run for a while because it'll take a few minutes to kind of soak this game up. It took less than a minute.
Moses trembled with fear and did not dare to look. Then the Lord said to him, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you
He
are
gave up
standing
right then.
is holy ground. I have indeed seen the oppression of my
If it
people
is a he.
in Egypt. I have heard their groaning and have come down to deliver them. Now come, I will send you back to Egypt." This Moses, whom they had rejected with the words, "Who made you ruler and judge?" is the one whom God sent to be their ruler and redeemer through the angel who appeared to him in the bush. He led them out and performed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt, at the Red Sea, and for 40 years in the wilderness.
In case anybody's wondering, this was 98% accuracy and only a 12% center pawn loss. So this was probably my best game ever.
This is the same Moses who told the Israelites, "God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among your brothers." He was in the assembly in the wilderness with the angel who spoke to him on Mount Sinai and with our fathers. And he received
He couldn't do anything. It's check in 2 moves, checkmate in 2 moves.
living words to pass on to us. But our fathers refused to obey him. Instead, they rejected him, and in their hearts turned back to Egypt.
They worry so much that when he put me in check here, he didn't think I'd move my queen. He thought I'd move my bishop up to here, and then he would have come down and taken my rook.
They said to Aaron, "Make us gods who will go before us. As for this Moses, who led us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has happened to him." At that time, they made a calf and offered a sacrifice to the idol.
What people forget is the king is an attacker. It's the only piece that can attack in any direction.
On hearing this, the members of the Sanhedrin were enraged, and they gnashed their teeth at him. But Stephen, full of the Holy Spirit, looked intently into heaven and saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. Look, he said, I see heaven open, and the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God. At this, they covered their ears, cried out in a loud voice, and rushed together at him. They dragged him out of the city and began to stone him. Meanwhile, the witnesses laid their garments at the feet of a young man named Saul. While they were stoning him, Stephen appealed, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. Falling on his knees, he cried out in a loud voice, Lord, do not hold this sin against them. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. And Saul was there, giving approval to Stephen's death. On that day, a great persecution broke out against the church in Jerusalem.
Anything else, unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. I want to welcome my big brother, Randy. Randy, you've been busy all day, and I thank you for taking the time to hop on here tonight.
Well, thanks for the invite.
My pleasure. So, in earthly natural bodies will enjoy long lives, and they will produce children. By the end of the 1,000 years, the world is fully populated, and there are many in number. I should have asked you, do you have any comments on that last part, Randy?
Me now? This is live?
Yeah, we're live.
You mean on the moves, on the chess moves?
Well, I mean, I'm going to get to the whole, here's where Laurel Canyon is. Here's where my, here's where my arrow was, it's going to be debatable, or people are going to want to say, he missed it by 10 miles. Bullshit. Nailed it.
Yeah,
it's right here. It's everything where I said. So I guess either Laurel Canyon or within a mile over here, this Beverly Glen. So it's either Beverly Glen, I don't know, maybe Beverly Crest, but that seems pretty populated. I just don't know, but it's Satan's home is right in here.
Crest is a higher elevation than
Yeah,
the other.
and that's why this here is Beverly Hills. Because it leads up to and this is Beverly Glen leading up to the highest point. But I'm kind of leaning towards somewhere closer to maybe this whatever is going on here. I don't know where hey, I got nothing on where his real home is. This is all, I don't know. Why is this area blacked out?
I'm sure there's a reason.
I bet there is.
But I don't know what it is.
This is where they got killed, anyway. That's how I got here, is because I was looking at where Charlie Manson allegedly, under the orders of the MK Ultra psychologist, they called him Dr. Jolly. Somewhere I was reading in here. Oh yeah. So I went like this.
So who was Dr. Jolly? Manson or
no,
the MK? The MK Ultra dude was Dr. Jolly.
Yeah, it's not his real name. Where was his trial and shit? They'll tell you what his real name is in the article about him. But the Beatles are still tied in. I haven't forgot about that. I got some work to do on that.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it the old way, back when we were learning on Word 1.0.
And And then Tavistock, are they?
The Tavistock was like, I got nothing. It was
okay.
It was dead end. Unless anybody else wants got anything on that. His psychiatrist recommended. Okay, now who was his psychiatrist? That's who we're looking for. Well, shit.
So he was the one involved in evaluating his state of mind prior to the trial, or is it?
Yeah, and he was also the last psychologist for Jack Ruby.
Oh,
he's super.
Okay.
He's super jolly. Maybe this will tell me who it is. Charlie Manson. This is a book that I got it from. Okay. Yeah, it rhymes with his last name, is why it stuck with me. If I'd remember the jolly part, I would remember his name, but I don't yet. So anyway, this was all set up when they were giving him LSD. He was running. He's listed as a co-author on with Brian Wilson on one of the Beach Boys songs. This guy was up there, dude. And of course, they were all, products of the children of the military. And of course, it was this guy West. Yeah, Louis Jolly West worked with Sidney Gottlieb. Oh my goodness. Let's open this up to more prophecy. This guy was the American chemist who did the famous baby Albert experiment. And they had him do it in Canada because, we had some laws here in the United States. I'm not saying anything. I like Hungary. I really do. I get hungry all the time. I'm trying to lighten it up because this is a Jewish thing. Oh, Randy, did you see my first comment? Oh, Randy was dropped off. How long were you dropped off, Randy?
Something went wrong in less than a minute. It wasn't.
I was just asked you, so you didn't hear me ask, did you see my first comment? This is like 10 minutes.
Quote you on it, huh? I'm trying to say Satan is LBGTQ and warn you that Christ Jesus never approved. Please quote me on that.
I'm going on record calling Satan kind of one of those latent homosexuals.
I don't know why not.
He seems gay with all that with all that Baphomet stuff.
He's evil enough to qualify.
Well, who knows? Who knows what a beautiful cherub thinks about when he's all alone? I don't know. All I'm saying is that I wrote this down, so I had honor bound.
Especially that there's no actual gender.
I know I'm springing this on you rather suddenly, but I wrote it down, so I have honor bound to say it, put it out there. I didn't write it down that long ago, before I went to class today.
Because I'm pretty sure I can find that spot in a hurry.
Really?
Well, we'll see.
That's why he's the famous Randy.
I should just go back to the but oh.
Oh my goodness. Aurorian was the first person to make a comment today, so that's pretty awesome, huh?
So yeah, he wins the trinket.
Yep. Just email Randy where to send the trinket. What are you looking up, man? Maybe I can help.
Well, gotta go before that, or maybe not. Yeah. When Jesus is confronted about that fake story of the 7 brothers or 6 brothers or whatever.
Oh, Abraham's bosom.
But
now I'm embarrassing myself because I don't know either. I'm gonna have to look it up. That's a dope. We don't want to open up any can of worms about Abraham's bosom, though. Okay.
No, this has nothing to do.
Okay.
With Abraham.
Right. It has to do with the warning. Yeah, it has to do with the warning.
Yeah, there's at least one.
Look at Luke 16. Where are we?
It might have been in. Hey, it is. Maybe it is in Luke.
Maybe it's in Luke 16.
Well,
maybe I looked it up and
I'm not a page away.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, because we have to have always that, situation of maybe I looked it up and I'm not guessing. I think it starts around like 12.
No, you're thinking of Lazarus, though, the rich man. That
doesn't he warn his son? That's not the one. Dang it.
No.
Well, I've been wrong before.
But I'm pretty
not
confident.
that bad recently.
I'm pretty confident I'm going to find it here shortly. But I wasn't. Luke wasn't my.
Go ahead, keep looking. I'm gonna just show a map of Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, for those that need to understand where it's located, how it's situated.
So yeah, there's the Santa Monica. This is L.A. This is what it looks like where Satan's hometown is. And it's going to go all the way. They're going to get flooded all the way down to San Diego. This is the whole target zone of their transportation is going to be disrupted. I never said anything like it's going to be disrupted as bad as the Mississippi is going to be disrupted. But dang, I don't even know if this is Lex Luthor type of destruction that's coming. So Randy's got a busy day. Busy tomorrow, so he's
yeah, I'll be in the air tomorrow.
Yeah, if anybody else out there, where is that Bible verse? Is there a comment out there that anybody going to help us out with that? Those 5 brothers, and if they didn't listen to Moses and the prophets, why do you think they're going to listen to you? Because the thing is that they don't believe that they were risen from the dead. You know why? Because they're honkies. Sidney Gottlieb. Right now, I know what way that's all I've got to say. My life gave it what I got, and this time I'm giving it my last shot. No more trusting in me, I'll trust in you. I'll trust in you. Oh, you, I surrender all.
down on my knees every day. Oh, and I try to give it all.
Everybody, that's
Yeah,
Yazoo.
okay. I kind of yeah, it's in Luke, and it's about the 7 brothers that each consecutively married the same widow.
Right, that crazy. It's not crazy, but they're bringing up offspring in their brother's name. What most women need to realize is that's something that greatly helps them, because the Christian God is the only real feminist among all the.
But Jesus sets them straight between the two worlds. And 34, 35, 36 of chapter 20, Luke. In this world, men and women marry, Jesus told them, but those who are considered worthy to rise from the dead and live in the other world don't marry, nor can they die anymore, because they're like angels. They're God's children and share in the resurrection. So what's that telling you about gender?
Read it again for us, brother, if you don't mind.
Beginning in verse 34. In this world, men and women marry, Jesus told them. Verse 35. But those who are considered, and this is back obviously, and those who are considered worthy to rise from the dead and live in the other world don't marry. Verse 36. Nor can they die anymore, because they're like the angels. They're God's children and share in the resurrection. Or isn't that implying anything?
It's implying that what people had better understand, you better circumcise your heart as the example given to you, because until at some point in your life you can say, I'm not pushing that button because I know it doesn't please the Father, then I can question your salvation.
I'm thinking angels don't have genders, is what I'm thinking.
Well, I know they don't have sex.
Thinking they don't have genders, and that might be a good reason. So it's not even, it's not even an option.
No, but Christ suffered for even being tempted.
Yeah. And he passed the test.
Amen. But suffered. Because if you even think about that, it is affecting our aura, and that does what? It affects the 5 different other types of pneuma, living kingdoms inside of you. Some of them mate for life, have children, bury them in what they consider a cemetery. Some people call it earwax because they live in other parts of things that they make that is very productive. They're symbiotic, and we are living stones that are going to be fit into the body of Christ, and others are going to be digestive enzymes constantly, I guess, purifying the living water after we drink it. I have no idea what they'll be doing, but it'll be utter darkness. I know that. What are you reading, brother? You got me curious.
Well, no, I'm going to King James just to see what.
Randy has recently the proud owner of his first King James Bible.
Correct.
And he's probably read I know for a fact, I think he might be the only one who's gone through the Bible more than me. But there could be 7,000 or 2,000 others out there we don't know about. But it doesn't seem like it.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, same.
Yeah. Well, that's about an hour and 4 minutes, and I don't want to act like, I don't hate to say I told you so, but it's not like something I'm relishing because these people, they're just dying. Let's just watch. My algorithm will probably pull up this live 24/7 from the. Oh well, here's Reed Timmer. This guy's lucky to be alive after what he went through last night.
And this is live footage.
Yeah, he's parked. This is usually when he's out. He's filming something for his weather channel. This guy's good. Look at that. He's almost got 800. He's almost as popular. Ryan Hall got him super popular, but his brilliance maintained that popularity, and it's grown. He's the weather genius. I think he's pushing this one way too hard. I'll find it. Maybe one of his reports. No, what I can do is I'll just go show you one of his recent videos because I watched one of them and this was a good one. Yeah, you can see the one I watched.
Big Boulder here, just southwest of Ojai.
Notice that this is all concrete lined. I don't know if it's done with the old canal system, but somehow this water is going to flush Hollywood so bad.
Flooding situation continues to worsen here across California. I'm near Las Cruces, California, just to the north of Santa Barbara, where this flow continues to dramatically increase in size.
And remember, this was the very start of the storm. I'm sure he's hightailed it out of there. This was 17 hours ago, and it has not stopped raining.
Definitely a flood zone here, and there are a lot of old burn scars here along the southern edge of the Santa Ynez Mountains, and those are going to cause mud flows like this down near Santa Barbara and Montecito. We're just at the beginning of this atmospheric river, and look at this thing rip. This is normally a dry creek bed here off the mountains, but we are getting rainfall rates of 1 inch per hour out here, and the flooding threat is going to continue for the next 48 hours or more across Southern California. It's only going to get worse, and it's going to start hammering that extra sensitive San Bernardino area as well. Winds, rainfall rates.
They should have me on as a guest weatherman sometime. I'm pretty sure.
This flows back to the Pacific, or where?
Yeah, through Los Angeles.
Okay. Could make a mess.
Now we are shifting into dangerous flood mode, life-threatening flash flooding. We've got a handful of flash flood warnings that have been issued for a 10-hour period. That's a very long period of flash flooding, and it includes Los Angeles all the way up here to the higher terrain where I'm socked in fog, and I'm about to drop down to the flood zone.
He's an idiot.
To the north of Santa Barbara, winds are gusting to hurricane force up in Big Sur just to the north, and to the south of San Fran. Some of those stronger winds are going to start coming ashore here further south as well, possibly gusting greater than 60 miles an hour across the higher terrain. This flow is orthogonal to the mountain range, transverse range, and that's going to contribute to at least 1 inch per hour rainfall rates up here. And it's all.
This is what was going on while we were doing church, man.
Right.
This is live, completely live.
Fell in just 3 days' time. Look at some of these pictures, the mess across parts of the LA metro area. Keep in mind, in any given year, the city of LA averages a little bit more than 14 inches of rain. Some parts of the metro just since Saturday have recorded more than 9 inches of rain. So this is an incredible amount of water for Southern California, and it's led to scenes like what you just saw. Unfortunately, this is an event that's still playing out. More of that Pacific moisture continues to stream on in. Still heavy rain being reported in LA. If you've been with us, we were thinking that we were likely going to see additional flash flood warnings issued. The National Weather Service just went ahead and issued another for parts of Ventura and LA counties.
Where's that water going to drain?
I-5 there and 210, Santa Clarita down to the LA downtown region, all of that red, heavy rain. And per the bulletin, they're saying 5 to as much as 10 inches of rain has fallen already, and you still have all of this that needs to work its way through and then some out in the Pacific. That runs until 6 p.m. local time, so 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 hours still to go with that flash flood warning. And we may see more of them issued farther in time and distance and to the south based on what we're seeing on our exclusive Fox model. This is 5 a.m. local time tomorrow morning. Look at that coverage of rain persisting across Southern California through lunchtime tomorrow, even into the afternoon. We finally start to see that coverage breaking down a bit.
To help facilitate this response, this morning I have signed a declaration of a local emergency, which will help our response and ensure that the city has the required resources to respond.
Randy, this city does not have the required resources.
Man the pumps? I don't know.
Grab your wife, grab your child, grab your husband, and get out the door. Get the high ground, and make sure you got something solid as a rock.
Large umbrellas for that.
Yeah. There you go. Like here, right now, I should just leave that on the screen. You know. We a dam, you know, because she's been around. She knows the difference between a we a dam, a dam, and an a dam. You damn right. We've all made that joke. She's been around doing pretty good. Let's see what else. I'm sorry there, Marcelo. I'm going to take it down and put up another one here. Oh, nobody wants the day of the Lord, though. You know, it's like those.
No, for Factual's question, it's that no one gets married in heaven. You know, is what I don't know. He thought it was one of them other passages, maybe that Paul was suggesting, but no, it was in Luke. It was Luke chapter 20, beginning at verse 34 through 36. And it was after Jesus was confronted about the 6 or 7 brothers that all married the same spouse after she was widowed from one brother to the next.
Let's pull it up. Let's go. Let's go. You know,
but it's
so that's in the New Testament, right? Let's go with the Berean Standard. You know, I think it's as good as the English Standard, and I am in habit of going to the
Luke,
the English Standard, but you know, the Berean is good. It's just that I've read the English Standard since it came out.
Luke 20. Luke 20, yep.
Oh, I was going the wrong.
And then verse beginning with 34, 35, 36, I believe. I mean, you could back up and get the full you'd probably have to go to verse, what would it be, 20 something. No, but I mean, to get the context of what Jesus's answer is here, you'd have to go back to 27.
Because these Sadducees, they are sad because they don't even believe in the resurrection yet. Somehow they're religious leaders. Give me a break.
So that's where it begins.
So some of those knuckleheads said there is no resurrection. What new? They sent somebody to question Jesus. I wonder how that's going to go. Teacher, they said, Rabbi, Moses wrote for us that if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife but no children, somebody who's going to own that land? The man is to marry his brother's wife. Well, that's not technically the term in the Old Testament. They didn't marry them, they were already married. They were doing a word that slips my mind that was a prescribed duty. Am I correct?
Yeah, sort of like Judah and his sons.
Exactly.
A little bit like that, but totally different than that. But
well, I'm going to read it another way. So that man is supposed to perform his duty to God so that his brother's name will never be forgotten, and then raise up offspring to him. It has nothing to do with what we consider marriage today. Now, there were 7 brothers that, again, anybody that wants to look up that reference with Judah and Tamar, it's very eye-opening about what was going on. The first one married a wife, but died childless. Then the second, third, everybody, they just died. And it was all a preposterous question. And then also that they could throw out verse 33. So then, thinking they're trapping the word, that is the vibration holding everything together, by him all things consist. In the resurrection, whose wife is she? For all 7 were married to her. A lie, a straw man, a false preposition, a wrong presupposition. They were all required to perform a service, a duty prescribed by God. Jesus answered, you err because you know not the scriptures. No, that was another time. Here he said, the sons of this age marry and are given in marriage, but those who are considered worthy to share in the age to come and in the resurrection from the dead, I did that in a romantic language, ruling my R's, will neither marry nor be given in marriage. In fact, they can no longer die. We know he's talking about people that have been metamorphosed, and the angels are alike in this. I could say that with all assurance because I stopped in the middle of the sentence. Because they are like the angels. I am kind of enjoying this too much that, I get to say, oh no. I hope I'm not being proud.
And some are translated children instead of sons, but yeah, same.
Yeah, it's been I should look it up, but oh wait, Bene is the Hebrew word. It's not Bene. I wonder who it is.
Should be Greek.
Yeah, to be in Greek, I was just like, oh, okay. All right, the sons of God. I have not gotten a lot. I don't even have an excuse that I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I have. I got 7 hours last night. So, no, man. You make sure you tell your brother that too, that we weren't trying to say that at all. These 2 guys are good connections. They used to be Fractal Bears, These are those guys. They've been knowing about this crap for a long time. Randy, we're going to have to let them go. You have anything you want to close with?
You mean when it comes to procreating? You should
No.
be married.
Yes, you should be married. Yes, nobody should be gazing upon your nakedness and your privacy unless you're married to them. Don't go around thinking you're some badass.
Yeah.
Instead, go ahead.
No, those that are in a precarious situation, regardless if it's man-made or natural or or just a poor choice of events that you're involved in, hopefully things will something good can come out of bad, but more often than not you're going to have to deal with the bad first.
Yeah.
Before anything good comes from it. But yeah, it's patience and and the Lord's will.
He's
But
going to turn our heart like a
some
river.
decision making is a requirement also to help things turn out for the better.
So is that book of Proverbs, that's still in the Old Testament? I guess it's always going to be there.
Should be.
I'm telling
Not that
you,
some Old Testament verses, there are some Old Testament verses quoted in the New Testament. Yeah.
That's right. So I want people to visualize in their mind, if they would, if they feel comfortable, the racing water in some of those rivers we witnessed recently. The king's heart, and I'm inviting everybody to remain that we are that new royalty, kings and priests, once God has called us to emulate his obedient son, Jesus Christ. The king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he will. And this is only going to be, this is a narrow road thing. I don't expect this to get 100,000 views, but this start of the atmospheric river is all a part of the same thing of where I cracked my cranial heel, poured the distilled water on it, sent the message forth, and it continues. And I will remind you, nobody sends in an application to the Spirit God, the Most High Father, and says, I want to be a prophet. It'll be fun. If anybody thinks I'm doing this for fun or can prove I'm out to make $1 off of anything I've ever done, you will be.
Are you implying he is taking applications?
He doesn't. And he doesn't read, and when the job is offered, he doesn't accept refusals.
Yeah,
that's also part of it, because I was not all in. I was convinced that this was my job. And what is my job? To remind you that the earth is flat. It's what I call a flat earth nation. The people who believe that, and what everything else Jesus taught, that the golden age is past. I missed that channel, yet we now have Mud Flood was Armageddon, which continues because it was a flat earth nation. The golden age is past because the Mud Flood was Armageddon, which is why, Lord willing, we'll never tell you anything else. And if we do, don't believe us, because you've heard the true gospel. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.